The Supermarine Spitfire is one of the most iconic and celebrated fighter aircraft of all time, closely associated with the defense of Britain during the Second World War. Known for its speed, agility, and distinctive elliptical wings, the Spitfire became a symbol of British resilience and technological innovation. The aircraft played a key role in pivotal battles, particularly the Battle of Britain, and was produced in greater numbers than any other British aircraft during the war. Its legacy as a fighter aircraft is unparalleled, and it remains an object of fascination to aviation enthusiasts worldwide. The Supermarine Spitfire was designed by R.J. Mitchell, a visionary aircraft designer working for Supermarine Aviation Works, a British aircraft manufacturer. The origins of the Spitfire can be traced to the mid-1930s, when the British Air Ministry issued a specification for a new fighter aircraft to replace the aging biplanes of the Royal Air Force, RAF. Mitchell's design evolved from his earlier work on racing seaplanes, specifically those developed for the Schneider Trophy, which Supermarine won in 1931. These high-speed seaplanes informed many of the design principles that would make the Spitfire such an outstanding aircraft. The first prototype of the Spitfire, known as the Supermarine Type 300, flew on March 5, 1936, and it quickly impressed with its performance. The aircraft's distinctive elliptical wings were not only aesthetically pleasing, but also allowed for a thin, high-speed wing design that provided excellent aerodynamics and maneuverability. Powering the Spitfire was the Rolls-Royce Merlin engine, which became one of the most famous aircraft engines of the war. The combination of sleek design and a powerful engine gave the Spitfire an edge over many other contemporary fighter planes. One of the most remarkable features of the Spitfire was its elliptical wings, which were designed to reduce drag and give the aircraft its remarkable speed and agility. These wings, along with the advanced Merlin engine, allowed the Spitfire to achieve speeds of over 360 miles per hour, 580 kilometers per hour in some variants. The aircraft's maneuverability at high speeds was one of the reasons it became so effective in dogfights. The Spitfire was primarily a single-seat fighter, although there were some two-seat variants for training purposes. It was armed with 8.303 Browning machine guns in its early versions, though later models were equipped with heavier armaments, including 20mm Hispano cannons, to give it more firepower. Its light frame and efficient engine gave it an impressive rate of climb, allowing it to quickly gain altitude and outmaneuver enemy aircraft. The aircraft went through many variations during its production, with improvements made to its engine, armament, and structural design as the war progressed. Later versions, such as the Spitfire Mach 9, featured the more powerful Rolls-Royce Griffon engine, which gave it an even higher top speed and allowed it to compete with the increasingly advanced German fighters, like the Focke-Wulf 190. The Spitfire first entered operational service with the RAF in 1938, just before the outbreak of World War II. By the end of the war, over 20,000 Spitfires had been produced in various marques and variants, making it the most produced British aircraft of the conflict. The aircraft was built in multiple factories across the United Kingdom to ensure that production would continue, even if one facility was bombed by the enemy. This decentralization of production proved to be a smart decision during the German Blitz of 1940-41. The Spitfire saw action in virtually every theater of World War II, but its most famous role was in the Battle of Britain in 1940. During this critical phase of the war, the RAF fought to prevent the Luftwaffe from gaining air superiority over southern England, which would have paved the way for a German invasion. While the Hawker Hurricane actually made up the bulk of RAF fighter strength during this period, the Spitfire, with its superior speed and agility, was often tasked with engaging the Luftwaffe's elite fighters, such as the Messerschmitt Bf 109. The Spitfire's role in the Battle of Britain solidified its reputation as a legendary aircraft. Its agility and speed made it a formidable opponent in dogfights, and its pilots were able to hold their own against the more experienced Luftwaffe. Though both the Spitfire and Hurricane played vital roles in Britain's victory, the Spitfire's elegance and performance caught the public's imagination, making it a symbol of British defiance and endurance. The Spitfire was highly successful in its role as a fighter aircraft. Its ability to adapt to new threats and missions was one of the key reasons it remained in frontline service throughout the war. As German aircraft technology improved, so did the Spitfire, with new versions developed to counter new threats. Its performance in combat made it one of the most respected fighters among both its pilots and its adversaries. The Spitfire's versatility was also notable. While initially designed as a short-range interceptor, it was later adapted for other roles, including photographic reconnaissance, where its high speed and ability to fly at high altitudes made it ideal for this role. Additionally, it was used in fighter-bomber roles and for air superiority missions in various theaters from North Africa to the Pacific. The Spitfire's popularity stemmed not just from its performance, but also from its place in British national identity. During the dark days of 1940, when Britain stood alone against Nazi Germany, the Spitfire came to symbolize hope and resistance. The aircraft's graceful lines and deadly effectiveness in combat made it a favorite of pilots and the general public alike. To this day, it is remembered as one of the key reasons Britain was able to withstand the German onslaught during the Battle of Britain. The Spitfire also set several aviation records, including speed records for piston-powered aircraft, and its role in the war made it the subject of numerous books, documentaries, and films. The sound of its Rolls-Royce Merlin engine is still recognizable to aviation enthusiasts around the world, and restored Spitfires are a common sight at air shows, where they continue to capture the imagination of new generations. The Supermarine Spitfire was not just a technological triumph, but also a symbol of British resilience during World War II. Its innovative design, adaptability, and remarkable combat performance made it one of the most effective fighter aircraft of the war. Its legacy endures, not only as a symbol of national pride, but also as a testament to the brilliance of its designers and the bravery of the pilots who flew it. The Spitfire remains one of the most revered aircraft in aviation history, a machine that played a critical role in defending freedom during one of the darkest periods of the 20th century.